And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell Blanken, R. Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken, and also with us today, the one, the only, Mike Steph.
Hey,
He is here.
What up, people? How's
So
everyone?
Mike is a great friend of GI and a super fan of the Real Housewives series. Mike, before we get into all of the wrestling talk, please tell us about yourself and the work you do.
Okay, well, I'm Mike Steph. It's funny, I'm at a loss for words right now, but I'll just kind of streamline it. I do podcasting under the name of Donnie Oooh. I have a podcast by the name of Salty Thoughts of Donnie Oooh. It's audio only because I just feel like depriving the world of this luxurious face. And on my off time, which is my actual shoot job, I work underground New York City, and that's all I will say. I help with transportation needs. I know it sounded which cards be blunt. I work for the MTA of New York City. So pretty much when you want to come around and try to get a Metro card or something, even though we don't sell Metro cards anymore, I 9 times out of 10 would be your guy. But besides that, I'm just a regular fellow. I love wrestling. I love sports, football, baseball, basketball, long-suffering Jets fan, long-suffering Knicks fan, and long-suffering Mets fan. So I'm just long-suffering altogether.
We've been there. The Arizona teams, the Michigan teams, we feel you. It is a tough time for you though, Mike. You know we're here for you.
Yeah, and I must admit, I do have a mistress that I call the Golden State Warriors, so I get some type of pleasure from them, but they've been stinking it up lately, so once again, misery just follows me. But besides that, I'm great.
We love it, man. Well, we are so grateful to have you here today, Mike. We are heading to WrestleMania 38, live from Jerry World, the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. We have a lot to discuss with you, Mike. So, Brad, if you're good with it, I think we'll go ahead and jump right in.
Let's do it.
Sweet. So before we get to night one of WrestleMania, during the day, we have some matinee wrestling. Brad, Mike, I know you're excited about this. I got to get your thoughts. We have NXT's Stand and Deliver. It is, let me see what we have here. There are currently 6 matches slated for the show. The show is set to kick off, I would guess, likely with the Fatal 5-Way ladder match for the NXT North American Championship. Carmelo Hayes is defending his title against Santos Escobar, Solo Sakai, Grayson Waller, and Cameron Grimes, and either A-Kid or Roderick Strong. Guys, I know we have thoughts on NXT 2.0. I don't think, quite frankly, any of us have followed the product in quite some time, but I got to be honest with you. I think this card is full of potential bangers. I'm going to be watching, and I would love to know your thoughts on the card in general, or specifically if you want to start with this 5-way match, because I think all of us are fans of Carmelo Hayes.
I'm going to say that I can't wait to see my favorites show up randomly. I can't wait. I love seeing Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano and William Regal cameos. I was on point. Triple H, my favorites are going to be there. Really, really great stuff. But I'm looking at this card and I don't give a shit about a single bit of it. I don't care. I'm sure it's going to be good. None of it matters because at some point they're going to cut. They're going to go away. There's going to be some sexist or racist thing that's happening with whatever those guys that are with jacket time or whatever. I saw that stuff for 2 minutes and I was like, what is this bullshit? What year is this? Did we time travel? This is trash. At the same time, I want to see Tony D'Angelo.
Thank you. He is on the card as well.
But Tony and Tommaso doesn't make any sense in my head. It seems like it's an oil vinegar situation for me. Could be delicious, could just look bad. Carmelo Hayes versus Santos Escobar. I don't care about who else is in there. Those two put them in a match. It's probably going to be great. Throw in Cameron Grimes.
Yes.
Grimes is awesome. Waller bores me, even though he's got a great look and I think he's very good. He's just, I'm Grayson Waller. That's all he's got. And he's a dickhead. And A Kid, I think that's cool. Roddy Strong, always bringing it. Like that'll be, I think that match will be good. Mandy versus Cora versus Io. Kaylee Ray, I don't care about Kaylee Ray. I love Cora's potential. Io has nothing left to do in NXT. I don't know why she's still there. Get her out of there.
I would hope she gets called up.
I don't know
after this weekend.
What is NXT 2.0 to you right now? And Mike, I want to get your thoughts here too. Yeah. Imperium will be good versus MSK simply because MSK is amazing. I hate the Creed brothers so much.
Really?
Are you serious?
Why?
Get out of here. Those guys rule. I think he's messing with us, Mike.
No, I mean,
Diamond
they're like the Steiners 2.0.
Malcolm Bivens.
Yes. Malcolm Bivens on our screen.
Yes, Malcolm Bivens all day long.
But you don't like the Creed brothers?
No.
Any particular reason?
I'm going to pass it to you.
I'm just going to let you go.
Oh, wow.
I'm just going to let that sit there.
Well, the ladder match, I guess if I'm going to give a prediction, it would be Carmelo just to retain, because out of seeing who's left, Waller and Solo, Grimes, if they were going to put the belt on Grimes, they would have done it already. Like, the OG NXT. Roger Strong, I could see him getting in or qualifying for the ladder match, just for the fact of just kind of directing traffic, having that grizzled veteran in there with a lot of the people that's going to be involved, not only in this match, but the whole card. This is going to be the largest crowd that they're going to be wrestling in front of.
Great call.
Because a lot of time, matter of fact, not even a lot of time, 100% of the time, they've been in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
So now I think they're going to be in the basketball, the American Airlines, something like that.
Yep, that's right.
So
where the Mavs
I think, so up to like 6,000-7,000 people, a lot of nerves. So I just feel like, the bottom line, Carmelo Hayes will retain. The Mandy Rose, Corey Jade, Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray. I don't know why I was saying that like that. I agree with y'all with the fact that Io has overstayed her welcome, but for some reason there has to be a reason why they keep her down there. Maybe just to mentor the younger or the newer wrestlers. But you would think by mentoring them, you would put her into programs with them to elevate them, and they really don't do that.
Have you ever
Mandy
heard her
Rose,
give a promo? Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Io do a promo? I have no memory of a promo from Io. No, it's like zero memory. I'm sure it's happened, but I have zero memory, and I think that might be what's keeping her there. Maybe she's not ready. I don't know.
I mean, they brought up Kairi Sane before, and then she wasn't really a great promo to their standards. I mean, I really was upset the fact they brought up Kairi Sane and left Io down there, because them as a tag team, I felt would have done well on the main roster.
I think that's why they paired her with Asuka, right? Like they ended up giving her Asuka because Asuka was more ready, even though Asuka doesn't have great promos all the time, but she'll jump into Japanese, say something hyped up, and then go, "You are not ready for Asuka," and then hop around.
Amazing.
Her little thing. It's amazing. I miss her so much.
Yeah. That's interesting, Mike. I'm curious, particularly for the ladder match. I'm also predicting that Carmelo Hayes is going to retain. I just wonder if this is a chance for him to drop the belt without getting pinned, and then he shows up on Monday or Friday. I mean, the dude is ready for the big time, is he not?
I believe so, but if you take him and put him on the main roster, just looking at the rest of the roster down in 2.0, I could see them still building, even though you still have Braun Breaker, who we have actually yet to talk about, but I could see them elevating Braun before they elevate Carmelo and actually censor 2.0 around Carmelo.
Okay, so he may be elevated sooner than later.
I
like that. I wouldn't hate that at all.
I feel like he could have a good run with the NXT title, and that would really get him ready and primed, because if I'm not mistaken, I would feel that Shawn Michaels, I guess since he's running NXT down there, he knows that if he sends him up now, Vince is not going to really get the character. He's going to get lost. Even with the promo skills will save him, but he'll get lost just for stature. But if you make him bigger than life in NXT, and he's getting there, he's on the path there, then when he gets elevated, you can kind of still use some of that, some of that jet fuel that he's accumulates.
I love it. Let's run through the rest of the card, and I want to hear who you guys are predicting. Interested to hear what Brad gives us here, Mike. So Tommaso versus Tony. I'm picking Tony here.
Tony.
Tommaso.
Okay. I like it.
I'm picking who I want to win. So for those of you who are like, well, who do you think is going to win? It's who I want to win. Okay. Listen, man, we already have a Steiner on the card. I will never think the Creed brothers are Steiners. Second of all, they are more Godwins than Steiners. Every time I look at them, I'm waiting for them to get their flannel on and spit in a spittoon with that stupid onesie. Get the hell out of here with that. That is Mike, a waste of Bivens' time.
Mike, when I tell you, I had no clue Brad feels this way. Brad and I have not talked NXT.
If they come on my screen, if I accidentally turn that show on, if they come on the screen, I guarantee the next thing you will hear at 12:290 is click.
Moving on. 4-way women's championship match we alluded to earlier. Mandy Rose is defending against Cora Jade, Io Shirai, and Kaylee Ray. I'm going to go Mandy Rose retaining here. How about you guys?
I don't know Cora Jade seems like the obvious other person in there, even though I don't want her to be champ right now. She's very young. I don't know that she needs it right now. She's like, what, 20, 21?
Yeah.
So she's 20s, yeah. So, I would love for it to be Io, but I think Mandy retains.
I'm actually going to go with Cora.
Wow.
I could see
the fire takes.
I already came out and changed my mind here. I'm going to go with who I want, Cora. I'm not picking who I wanted already. I've already screwed this game up. Go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts about Cora. I'm sorry.
I could see Cora winning and beating Kaylee Ray. I believe Kaylee Ray or Io Shirai is going to take the pinfall. That'll leave Rose still have the rivalry with Cora Jade, and you can continue from there. I don't see anybody in the pretty much on the roster that's ready to get into that main event feud, because everybody else just seems like they're just straight gimmicks. So I could just see them, just to prolong the feud. I just don't feel like they felt that they was confident enough in a one-on-one. So that's why they put Kaylee Ray and Io in it to make it good enough for the stand and deliver. But the real feud is Mandy and Cora. So I'm taking Cora.
Yeah, even though we disagree on the prediction, Mike, I completely agree with you. I think the program after Stand and Deliver for the women's belt is going to be Mandy versus Cora. I do think Cora ends up getting the title. I'm just not sure it's going to be on Saturday. Next match, again, we also alluded to this one, triple threat tag team match. I think this is going to rule. Imperium is defending against Brad's favorite, the Creed brothers, good old Julius and Brutus, and also MSK. I think the titles are going to change hands here. I am going Creed brothers victory and your new NXT 2.0 tag champs. What say you, Brad? Who do you want?
Why are they named Julius and Brutus Creed? Their real last name is Casper with a K. That's just awesome by itself. Casper with a K. Plus, they're white. It kind of fits. Like
Creed is not
Casper the friendly ghost.
You get when I hear Creed inside of a ring, I have very specific images that come to my mind, and it's not what they look like. It's just not. And then Julius. What?
Yeah.
These guys. Okay, first of all, let me say this. I guess maybe last of all, since I've already buried them, the guys are really talented. I really like what they do. I just hate this so much. They don't make any sense with Malcolm. They just don't. And I don't know that they necessarily need Malcolm. Malcolm should be on the main roster. Number one, Malcolm should be with big time. Malcolm should be running the main roster.
Yes. He should be the mouthpiece for almost, should he not? That makes too much sense.
It's perfect, but give him to anybody. Give him to Otis. Give him to, I don't know. I can't even think of anybody else. Maybe have him run with somebody else. But I would love him. Let's say MVP decides to go back to wrestling. They reunite Hurt Business. Malcolm goes with Hurt Business. That would be great. But none of them really need that. So I think it's good that they have him paired with people, but like there's other dudes on that roster that haven't gotten there. There's other women on that roster that haven't gotten there with promo skills. I feel like they're going to win because Malcolm will make this really interesting. That's why I'm not a big fan of them. They're not interesting. They're not interesting at all. They're interesting because of Malcolm. And if Malcolm goes somewhere else, they're no longer interesting. But I think it would be good if they win. I would love to see MSK win, but I also don't think they need it. I also feel like they could be a call up at any point. But
for sure.
But the main roster doesn't seem to care about their tag division very much. So outside of 3 teams, because another team is down here as a champion. The Dirty Dogs are in NXT for some reason. So 2 of the best workers in the world are currently in the. Anyway, okay, I'm done. I've said my piece. I'm gonna pick the Casper brothers.
Due to these, I really couldn't give you an answer. I'm just gonna go to Creed brothers just for the fact that it's their turn. Imperium has the championship. Yeah. MSK has had the championship. So yeah, it's just the Creed's turn. I don't see them being elevated up to the main roster. Actually, I don't see any one of these 3 teams being elevated. Even though MSK should be the next one, because after this match, what is left for them to do? Right. They already have a connection with Riddle when Riddle came down to be the shaman.
Yeah, it was great.
But besides that, yeah, I'll just bottom line it. Creed brothers.
It's unanimous. Final 2, LA Knight versus the artist formerly known as Walter. It's got to be Walter for me. I think LA Knight is definitely going to go on up to Mondays or Fridays after this.
I think, I agree with you. And also, that's the match of the night for me. Like that, I think that one's going to end up being great. LA Knight is awesome.
Love LA Knight.
And we know what Walter can do.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Did we skip past Dolph?
Oh, I was going to save that for last.
You're going to save that one for last. Yes. Okay. Is that the actual order it's going to be in? Or is that just the order that it was listed?
I think that's just the order it was listed. Okay. I would imagine it may look similar, but just these last 2 flips.
There has to be an NXT championship at the end, right? Like that,
for sure.
Has to headline. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I'm picking Walter, and I agree with you. I think LA Knight goes up.
Mike, what say you?
Oh, once again, I'm going to be in consensus with y'all. Yeah, LA Knight. Matter of fact, no, y'all chose Walter, correct?
We did.
Well, Gunther, excuse me.
Oh yeah, that's right, Gunther.
Terrible.
U-boat commander.
This is a good one. I'm for some reason something's telling me to pick LA Knight.
Really? There's a bug coming.
For some reason, this last week's, I believe the promo that he did this past week, and the reaction that he had, the crowd reaction that he had, it just seems like he has a weird sense of a lot of momentum going on right now, and I could see them saying, you know what? Yeah, I could see them putting him over.
Wow.
Whether he's going to get called up or not, I'm not sure, but I could see them putting him over.
I like it. And then what is presumably the main event for this show, NXT 2.0 champion, I can't believe I'm saying this, Dolph Ziggler defends with Robert Roode, in parentheses, defends against Braun Breaker. Guys, I'll try to be concise here. This has to end up being a Braun Breaker victory. He gets back his title. He gets the shine on the show. This has to be Braun Breaker getting back his championship.
Yeah, he has to beat the Spirit Squad. I'm picking Braun Breaker as well. I don't know. Do you think somebody comes to his aid during this match? Because we're gonna get some Robert Roode tomfoolery on the outside. So
maybe his pops, maybe Rick Steiner makes an appearance.
That would be so good.
No one would hate that.
No, but I did. He was at the show, right? Like hugging afterward when he won the first time, and
I think that was
in the ring. He looked like he was struggling just to move. So I don't know. I don't know that we see Rick doing any kind of physical unless he hits somebody with a crutch or something. Like it's just. But if they let Scott on premises, I can see that happening because he can still roam around.
I didn't consider that.
Yeah,
Pop a pump in the building.
He's not exactly.
He's at his series of medical.
Yeah, but he is not. He is not beloved by the WWE. So I don't know. I don't know that happens because I don't. I think all those bridges were burned when he left for the last time going to TNA to do math. Mike, what do you think?
Braun for the win. I totally understand why they put the belt on Ziggler. The way they did it really didn't harm Braun whatsoever. It gave him even more of a reason why he would be out for vengeance. WrestleMania weekend, that should be his breakout performance. Most exposure, first time that, like I said, the first time they're in a big arena. And I could see them being a good to borderline great match. I could see a 4-star match. And I hate star ratings, but a 4-star match, I could see that just for the difference in styles. Dolph Ziggler is going to bump his what off.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Dolph's amazing. He's so good.
He really is.
Yeah, and he's going to pretty much amplify the strength that Braun is going to. I mean, Braun Breaker's going to exhibit. So like I said, I could see this. I could see this being the best match if they give them time and they cut down on the tomfoolery. Of course, there's going to be, interference, but
sure.
I could give them 15 solid minutes, and I could see it being 4 stars.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see it being a great match. Dolph Ziggler. That dude has had 1 championship, I believe. I think that's it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He either beat or lost to Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah,
this is when he was with
Money in the
AJ
Bank,
Lee.
right?
Yeah, big moment. His Money in the Bank cash in. Thank you.
Yeah, but right. How does that dude only have 1 run with one of the titles? That guy he's one of the best in the world. He's great on the mic. He's incredible in the ring, and now he's a dirty dog. Like, I'm fine, whatever, but I just don't understand how that happens.
Yeah.
Like,
well, even Robert Roode. I mean, this guy.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know that he necessarily fit the mold of the black and gold NXT, which the three of us have such fond memories of.
Huge pop for Glorious.
The Glorious gimmick. That was epic.
So good.
Yes,
that song is amazing.
The heel run as champ.
That might be one of the best theme songs in professional wrestling. It's just so good. I play it. Yeah. I play it when kids come in. Sometimes I blast it over the surround sound speakers.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that music was originally meant for Shinsuke.
Yeah, that's that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think it. Do you think it would fit Shinsuke?
Does Rick Boogs?
For some reason, it just doesn't seem like it.
I think we'll get there. Yeah, I agree, Mike. I can't see it, especially with how much I adore Shinsuke's entrance, his NXT entrance at least. It's hard for me to picture him coming out to Glorious.
Yes.
Yeah, that song is amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't see it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think we're ready for night 1 of WrestleMania talk. Let's go ahead and start it out. First match we're going to discuss. Again, we don't know the exact order, of course, of how this is going to go down, but we'll just go full steam ahead. Becky Lynch defending her Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belaire. This, gentlemen, is the match I am most looking forward to of WrestleMania weekend. I still have my feelings about how Becky won at SummerSlam, how she took the title off Bianca. So I am going to predict a Bianca victory here. I think this match is going to be incredible, simply due to the talent of both of these women. And I can't wait for it, man. I got to go with a Bianca victory here. I'm stoked.
Yeah, I can't wait for this match, but I'm also going with Bianca here. If Bianca doesn't win, I'm getting in my car. I'm driving to Stanford, and I'm playing Seth Rollins music as I do what it instructs me to do. Didn't want to directly threaten anybody there.
You got to follow that up, Mike.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that shoot. Thanks. Bianca, definitely Bianca. I believe out of all the, not to even like split it up, but all the women matches for WrestleMania, this has the best build up. I dare say, besides Sans, Roman, and Brock, this has had the best build up through all the matches that have been announced for WrestleMania because it dates all the way back to SummerSlam. And you've seen, and we've seen Bianca, as she said in the promos, she's got knocked to the back of the line and she's worked her way back up each and every time. She had a good standing in the Royal Rumble. She was the last survivor, lone survivor at Survivor Series. She's, KOD Dewdrop 2 months in a row. It's just the story. And then even on the flip side with Becky, it's almost like the descent into insanity with her. All these challenges are just taking more and more pieces of brain. It's like she's becoming obsessed with the championship, and she's going to great lengths to retain. So just the angst, the animus, for lack of a better word, between the two, yeah, Bianca all the way.
So
because they
brought up.
they
Go ahead.
couldn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Oh no,
brought up
I'm finished.
you brought up a great point with her obsession, because they directly alluded to that. They directly alluded to that with Becky's promo. They just made her go full Gollum. She was holding it and she said, "I got to keep it," and she said, "My precious," and then looked down at it. And I was like, we're really going to do this? We're going to go that on the nose with it. But I also thought, okay, that's cool. If we're going to remind people that I am obsessed with this thing of keeping this thing, let's do it directly by being kind of indirect. Some people will get that reference. Some people won't. I was laughing. Maybe that's not the intended response, but it was a great way to set up her obsession with the title.
I have one other thing to add. It kind of, which card is parallel to me, somewhat of the lead up to WrestleMania 17 with The Rock and Stone Cold, where Stone Cold progressively became more obsessed with doing whatever it took to get that championship.
It's
He
true.
came back from his
that.
injury. He's tried it the straight and narrow, and then progressively just started becoming crazier and crazier. He finally snapped at WrestleMania. You saw even when he went to the Alliance, the whole what was based on him going crazy for the championship. I could see the parallels. I mean, when Becky was a face, you saw the parallels with her and Stone Cold, the man, the whole character. That was pretty much Stone Cold female version.
It was the biggest thing in the industry.
I could see it
easily.
Yeah, so just for some reason, especially this last week, that promo I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this is X7 right here. I mean, and Bianca she doesn't have the following overall, but she has the following from the vocal majority, which really is what counts in wrestling nowadays. So, I could just see Bianca just riding that wave and getting to that next level, that next step. Back to back WrestleMania main event winner. Great.
I'm so happy that Bianca's getting the shine. To your point, Mike. I wasn't sure based on how her NXT run went, how she was going to be used on the main roster, and the fact that she's in this position and hopefully is walking out of Dallas with the belt makes my heart extremely happy. Second match on the card. Oh boy. Father and son, Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. I will try to be brief. I will never pick a Paul brother to win. Mysterios win this match. Dominic turns on Rey on Monday.
Would have been really happy just to see Rey versus The Miz. I think that match could have been great. Instead, we have Tree Mysterio and Logan Paul in there. Like, watching Dominic work is legitimately like watching like a claymation tree. And then you have Logan Paul, who I just don't want to see Logan Paul in there. But man, I don't care. Mysterios. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm so out on all of it. Like, I love The Miz. What he's been doing is pretty stupid since they fired John Morrison, or future Endeavor John Morrison. Not to say like all that dripstick stuff wasn't stupid, but at least it made sense for what they were trying to do. Maximum heat. Now he hasn't really been doing much since his thing with his wife and Edge and Beth. So I just whatever. Move it on. Mike, your thoughts?
Wow. I was not looking forward to this match whatsoever. Just to throw a winch in everything. I'm gonna go to Miz and Logan Paul. I mean, I could see it as a reward for Miz, just being the mainstream star that he is, for well, should I say the ambassador that he is. He's in a prime spot, and even though I know most of the time the heels are supposed to, show what and take the fall. For some reason, I could see this being the impetus for the final breakup between the Mysterios.
Yeah.
But for some reason,
that's interesting.
I don't know. For some reason, I have a feeling Ray should go heel.
I would love it.
Really?
Ray should just get.
That'd be the first time in his career. Yeah.
Ray should have the character. Ray should have the character of the fed up father that's just fed up with his hard-headed son, and he's just like, you know what? I've tried to keep you on a straight and narrow. You young boys don't know much, and he should just go on like that. I could see that fascinating.
I would love that.
Look, Ray's pushing 50.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize Ray's pushing 50, so he should have that cranky mentality. Like, look, I tried to tell you, you don't listen, and so I'm going Miz and Logan Paul.
Cool.
I'm here for it. Next one. Oh boy, part 2. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss. Guys, this is a total SmackDown match. I think both talents here are very good, if not great, in the case of Drew. I'm going to give my prediction and ask you both a question on this one. I'm going to go Drew McIntyre with the win. I want to know who you guys think is going to come out victorious. And my other question is, looking at this card for both nights, frankly, is Drew McIntyre the most underutilized talent on this show?
Ooh. Well, 2
years ago, he was beating Brock in the main event.
You mean that are currently booked on the show, or do you mean on the roster? Because I'm like, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Alexa Bliss, Mustafa Ali, Asuka. Like, well, I think she's still hurt, but there's so many
booked on this show.
Yeah, currently booked on this show.
At least night 1, if you want to be even more specific.
Probably, yeah, I think so. That's a good point. Although Sami Zayn is fighting Johnny Knoxville, and
this is a true statement.
Pretty stupid. Again, I should say. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I hate Happy Corbin. I miss Sad Corbin was good. Depressed, I loved it.
I saw you retweet that the other day.
Yeah, it was so good. I don't like Happy Corbin at all. It's not even good heat. It's just this guy sucks. It's not, oh, he sucks, I hope he loses. Because like Sad Corbin, it was fun to laugh at him. Like, because he deserved it. All the stuff he did, it was great. Mm-hmm. And he was going out there, pity party. Shotzi shot him in the dick with the tank. Like there's so much stuff.
You remember Shotzi? She was on a run, and then just, man,
they took the tank, and then she sucked. It's just, the booking is terrible. Yeah. But sometimes the booking's really good. We're still getting Becky and Bianca. Mm-hmm. They built the hell out of Roman and Brock, so much so that now I'm actually very interested in it, even though it's Roman Brock 45. I think it'll still be good. I mean, we know that they're great in the ring, but we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to say yes, Drew is the most underutilized on this night, especially Drew. I'm going to say Drew wins. Also, this feud needs to end. This needs to be the blow off. This has been going for months.
100%.
Yeah.
Mike, who you rolling with?
I'm going to go Drew. Just pretty much because he better win. And like you said, Sad, or my favorite, like the Darn, why am I blanking on the name? McAfee said, "Bum ass Baron Corbin."
Bum ass Baron Corbin.
I
Yes.
miss him so much.
He was so good, right?
He was the
The
hottest
mustard
that he
stain.
ever was. Remember when he stole the contract at the contract signing and he ran
Yes.
out
It was so good.
and the crowd popped? It was almost like a title change pop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, run with this guy right now.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, yeah, he won the lottery. I mean, he won the slots. And I'm like, no, there was so much more they could have got out of that aspect of the character. And they just washed it down for the quick joke to pair him up with Madcap Moss, who it seems like they're setting up for them to break up. And it looks like Moss is probably going to be the baby face in that, because now he's actually, a lot of his jokes are actually at Happy Corbin's expense. And I'm just like, so you can't keep a unit together more than 2 months before you're planning to break them up. But yeah, Drew for the win. And as for underutilized, hell yeah. But I believe his injury, remember he was out for with his neck. Yeah. So I believe his injury probably took him off the table. And then when they realized, all right, it's not as bad as they thought it was, it was like, well, we kind of have things in motion. So we're going to keep them to the back burner until after WrestleMania. So I think this is just like a placeholder feud.
Sure. Next one, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships are on the line. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, are defending against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. So this is a tricky one for me.
Not me, friend.
I think the Usos win. I am going to predict a Rick Boogs heel turn here. I do want to tell you guys, though, before I pass it off to Brad, as much as I'm tempted to say Drew is the most underutilized talent on this card, on this weekend's card, my heart is leading me toward saying Shinsuke Nakamura is the most underutilized. I absolutely loathe this gimmick with him and Rick Boogs. I don't know why Rick Boogs is needed here at all. He has completely ruined the Shinsuke entrance to me, which was my favorite for years, going back to the Black and Gold brand. I think we need something to spice this up. Rick Boogs heel turn, the Usos retain. That's what I got. Brad, I'm going to pass it to you. What you think?
I'm going to say the Usos retain. I don't know about the heel turn, but I like it. Also, I don't know that I would put Shinsuke in that most underutilized spot simply because he's at least in a match with stakes. There's no stakes for Drew and Happy Corbin. It's just them fighting because Drew doesn't like them because they injured him, which he's been fighting them because of that injury for the last 14 years. I'm just over it. Like I'm done. Rick Boogs, what is he wrestling again? Like the red unitard thing, where he was flexing.
You remind me of Borat.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Like if it weren't for if he didn't have just the short parts on there, if he just went banana hammock on that thing, he would absolutely be Borat. Like
that popped me, Mike. That was
just
good.
It's absolutely perfect. When I saw him pressing people, I was like, very nice. Like it's like if you could pick a guy up over your head,
sexy time.
Yes, exactly right. If you could pump a guy over your head, yeet them out of the ring.
Yeah.
He should have eliminated like 4 people in the Royal Rumble. Instead, he was just like, I'm strong and look at my pants. It's like, get the hell out of here. They don't know what to do with him. Like Rick Boogs, Madcap Moss. Here's what I know they are. Good wrestlers. You wouldn't be in the WWE if you were not. Really good looking people, like great jacked body guys. After that, I don't know what they are. Madcap Moss is just with Corbin and he smiles a lot and he wears loafers. That's all I got. With Rick Boogs, we know he plays guitar. That's it. Like we know he's strong and plays the guitar. So I would love to see a heel turn so we could see him do literally anything else. Because right now he's less entertaining babyface Elias is what they have him doing. Like I don't need that.
You remember Elias? That dude was over.
They had a plan
2018, 2019.
They had a plan for him apparently and it sucked. So he hasn't been back. So they even did vignettes. I'm sure you saw that, Tyler. Okay, I'm going to pick the Usos to retain. They better not lose it to this pair. And I like the idea that Rick Boogs turns heel. Mike, what do you think?
Oh, Usos. Yeah, I, you know, I'm trying not to second guess myself here, because I can truthfully talk myself into Nakamura and Boo's winning.
Sure, I could see it.
To further the storyline with the bloodline, I, well, giving away my my selection, I could see Roman retaining, the
Yes, please.
Usos losing, and they have to report to Roman missing their championship after Roman went through hell and back, or they lose, and to try to redeem themselves somehow, some way, they help Roman beat Brock. But that's I'm getting a little bit too far ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the
Hmm.
Usos, but I can see Nakamura and Boo's winning. 'Cause for some reason I could just see them wanting that act to be spotlighted after
Mhm.
WrestleMania. And the best
Yeah.
thing is put the tag belts on them.
Mike,
But my pick is the Usos.
I like that. Sorry to cut you off. I was debating too. I was thinking of those. What is it, guys? That car commercial with Boogs and Nakamura that they're running on WWE now. I think it's for like Toyota. Um, I think they see
Yeah,
something.
no, it's Silverado.
Silverado. Okay, Chevy. There you go. I think they clearly see something in these two guys as a duo. So I'm kind of hesitant that maybe they're not going to break them up as quickly as I'm predicting. But I'm still going to ride with the Usos like you guys. Next, we
Real
have
quick,
Brett.
isn't there a returning wrestler coming soon? Somebody that might face Seth that isn't Cody. There was somebody that was rumored to come back, and I heard somebody they were injured. I don't remember who it was. Well,
Mhm.
anyway, I was gonna say like the thing that I could see is the Usos coming out, Cody Rhodes showing up at WrestleMania because I know people said that he was slated not to face anybody at WrestleMania, but to appear on the Raw afterward. That usually we get debuts after that or returns. Last year I think it was Charlotte. So I could see that happening, Cody showing up on that Raw afterward, but being there all of Booker T to interfere in the match during the championship match where he broke Stone Cold's hand or whatever, and put him through a table. I could see Cody Rhodes coming out and screwing with Roman, costing him the title, versus screwing with Brock, and going heel. But I don't know. Because if there is somebody else returning, then Seth might be facing somebody else at Mania if he's on Mania. But I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, just a thought. I could absolutely see them doing
That's
Booker T
interesting.
stuff with Cody.
Wow. Intriguing. Presumed, not even presumed, I think maybe even official main event of night one. Charlotte Flair is defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey. You talk about a build, guys. We know Ronda Rousey won the Royal Rumble. This has been a heavily promoted match for WWE. It's on the poster for this big weekend. I'm going Ronda Rousey here. I think we see a new champ. I will say I'm intrigued by this match. I think these two have really blurred the lines between what's a work and what's a shoot quite well. And I think we're going to see a new champion here. I'm going to go Ronda.
I'm gonna go Ronda too. They did blur the lines because Ronda keeps screwing up promos. So I think yeah, I think it's hard to see the lines when you're like, why do I even say this? Why am I even saying these words? Why do we have to say these words? It's like, what do you mean do you have to say them, Rhonda? Are you saying that you have lines to read? I'm not sure what you're alluding to here. Why are you taking us out of this? Why are you pulling back the curtain while you're on stage? Don't do that. That really bothers me.
Yeah, she's pretty polarizing.
To think that that's going to be the champion, that is going to be the champion, but then it's Charlotte Flair as well. I feel like it's for me, it's sort of lose lose. Charlotte does not need the championship. I don't want to see Ronda have it. So I don't really know what to do there because there's so many other women that are on the roster that haven't had a run that could help make them, that it would be required to build them. But I would love to see Liv in that spot. I would have rather have seen Charlotte and Liv getting a win, but Liv is currently tagging with one of the best in the world, and it's fun to watch them tag together. But damn it, pal! So I'm thinking Ronda takes it from Charlotte, and then I don't know what happens after that. Hopefully, she stops wearing that hot mama or whatever gear she's wearing currently, which is really really bizarre to me. But anyway, Mike, what are your thoughts?
I have so many opinions
Save
on
it.
Ronda
We're
Rousey.
saving the
I want to
best for
hear. I want to
last.
hear all of them.
Saving the best for last.
This match is between two of my most disliked female wrestlers. I hate Charlotte Flair. But I will say this. Me and my daughter went to Survivor Series this past year.
Oh, get out of here! I didn't know that.
And that was my first time seeing the current product live. Like I'm not a frequent live event goer. Before, I think it had been 20 years. And out of all the wrestlers on the female roster, I will give credit where credit's due. Charlotte was the only one that stood out. Like she looked the part. She looked like the star that they frame her to be.
Mhm.
And even in the ring, she just the way her moves, her mannerisms, A1. If I wouldn't have saw her live, I probably would still have the opinion of she doesn't deserve where she's at. But seeing her live, I'm like, I totally understand. And and she feeds off that, I believe.
Yeah, sure.
That being said, 13 times, and they shaved a couple off because why not? She probably won like 15 times, but 13 times she's won. The big problem to me with her has always been she does not give back to her opponent. She takes, 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 takes. She, I mean, yes, like the rivalry she had with Sasha. Yeah, Sasha beat her, but she never beat her when it really counted.
Mhm.
Even we flash back to the beginning of this year with Tony Storm before she left. I understand why Tony Storm left because if I got treated the way she got treated in that short little rivalry,
Yeah.
she got made
Oh,
to look like a
Respect.
purity fool
there's the pie in the face stuff, right?
numerous times.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the promo stuff. It was cringe. Now flipping on the other side with Ronda Rousey, I lost respect for her the lead up toward what is that WrestleMania 35? Yeah, the triple threat.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
with
the lead
Becky.
up with that when Becky was just carving her and just slicing her verbally and she couldn't take it. She couldn't take it. Like on her face, you could just see that she had all this pent up anger. She was bitter. She was quote unquote out of character or outside. With her little interview. Well, I would really kill all these bees if this was real. But being the fact we're playing wrestling, and going back to even her UFC stuff, the way when she lost to Holly Holm the first time, when she was on
Yeah.
top of the world, and then
Mhm.
she ran away, and then she
Mhm.
came out for Amanda Nunez, and then she got knocked out, and she ran away, and then she's like, you know what, I quit. Anytime she has adversity, she quits. So her coming back at the Royal Rumble and having that scowl on her face, and the next night she has the little promo, and she's pretty much telling the fans off like, "Yeah, y'all booed me last time, so I don't really care about y'all. I'm not going to give Becky the opportunity." And she got forced, and then on top of just the appearance wise, and I hope this not does not mean I do not mean to come off sexist if this does, but she really looks like she just got out of the trailer and she had to wipe the Similac off her shirt and like, you know what? All right, mommy got to go and do this 10-minute conversation and I'll be back. She got the mom jeans on. It doesn't look like she worked out really to get herself prepared to come back. Her whole attitude is stink. Her and Charlotte have no chemistry whatsoever. It's even more proof positive that Becky was the one that made that whole triple threat, that lead up go, because both of them can't carry this promo on either side.
Mhm.
It's a bad matchup. I really don't care about either one of them, but I guess I will say Ronda just for the sake of it's the only reason Charlotte's had it right now is because they were saving it for Ronda. So
Yeah.
Ronda. But if they think that they're going to last another year, having her be the baby face for a whole year, they have another thing coming. If they just make her a heel a killer heel, they will get money. Make her the female Brock.
Yeah,
Right.
agreed.
Yeah.
Have somebody talk for her.
Yeah.
Just
That's where the
have
money
her
is.
come out and murder people.
Malcolm Bivens.
Have her and Shayna. Yeah, yes. Yes.
That's
Have
what
her
I'm
and
saying.
Shayna,
Yeah.
which have her and Shayna be the version of Mox and Danielson in AEW, and just go through the roster.
Amazing.
And finally,
Yes, thank
Becky
you.
Blackpool Combat Club.
finally Becky comes like, okay, you know what? I saw this movie before. This is not going down. I gotta come to the rescue. And then you got your WrestleMania main event for next year, and Ronda can get sent to the rafters or wherever the hell she. I can't stand either one of them.
I think sorry to cut you off. I think you're spot on, and this is the problem with pairing. I've said since I started actually watching the product again, Ronda and Shayna together as a tag team, an unstoppable, just killer tag team, makes so much sense, except for one problem. If they're both out there killing people, you can't have Shayna kill people. Why? Because she never wins. She's never been champ. Like, I just what? So for Ronda to get this push, and Shayna just, like, even in the Rumble, Ronda showed up and like helped her friend out because Shayna wasn't doing well. What? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So you'd actually have to push Shayna for anything to happen, and they're not going to do that because they haven't. And I don't understand why, because I feel like Bivens would be perfect, even though I don't know how they would get along in terms of viewpoints on the world. At least with Ronda. I can't speak that for Shayna, but those two together as their own little dojo with Bivens running it. Imagine those two killers and somebody as effing funny and entertaining as Malcolm Bivens with it.
Just that would rule.
Print money for that.
Yeah.
I think it would be incredible. I'm with you, man. But also I don't really want to see the punches at the screen thing. It's just oof, that was hard to look at. Like, I know she knows how to kill people and she could like legitimately hurt people on that roster, probably most of the dudes on that roster if Ronda wanted to fight people. But also that looks bad. It looked bad at the Rumble. And that was the last time I've actually watched anything outside of Raw this past week. So it's it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But I think Ronda's going to win.
I love that fantasy booking, Brad. And Mike, I would tend to agree with you on this one. To me, all signs point to a main event for next year's WrestleMania being Ronda versus Becky, the match we never got to see. I think it was due to the unfortunate Nia Jax punch, right? That match got taken away from us. I think that was leading to a Survivor Series match between Ronda and Becky. To me, that's clearly a main event for next year's WrestleMania in Los Angeles. But man, I don't know. I'm excited for this. I think the highs could be very high for night one, and the lows could be extremely low. But let's stay positive on this. I want to ask you guys before we go to night two. There are two sort of, I guess, segments or even a match here that I'm really intrigued about. First, Stone Cold making his return to the ring. He's going to be a guest on the KO show. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if this is going to be night one or night two. I want to say it's a night one segment.
It better be. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought
Saturday, most viewers, I think.
Yeah. So we got to discuss this before moving forward. I think all three of us are stoked for this. I'm very optimistic for how this is going to go. Obviously, we know Kevin Owens is such a fan of Stone Cold. We know just how great Owens is by himself. Stone Cold, Brad, as you and I talk about on the 5 days of Stone Cold, the GI special, Stone Cold, arguably the most overact in the history of WWE, maybe even the history of wrestling. I think this is going to rule. I'm just worried, as I stated on a recent episode of Gimmick Infringement, that this is going to turn into the Defenders of Texas coming out and beating the tar out of Kevin Owens, which is my fear. I do not want that whatsoever. In fact, I would love a pop-up powerbomb to Ted Cruz. That's my fantasy booking best case scenario. If we get that, then I'd be okay with the Undertaker and Booker and I guess not Mark Henry, but if Ted Cruz were on the receiving end of that, I would be a little more flexible. I think this is going to be awesome, guys. We know the pop is going to be enormous. I'm sure the traction on social media is going to be huge. I'm just worried that it's going to be the classic, all of the legends come out and a choke slam, an axe kick, a stunner later. Kevin Owens is kind of a joke. What are your thoughts, Brad?
No, I'm with you. I think that it might end up being that. I know some people think that this is going to be a match. I'm still convinced it's not going to be. It's obviously going to be physical. Let me rephrase that. It may be a match, but it won't be a match until they start the show. It'll be very Rock hosting WrestleMania and then ripping the tearaways off to reveal that he's wearing his trunks and then he's ready to wrestle. And then he gets into a match. I feel like that's the way that they'll approach it if he does do a match. He was just Stone Cold was just on the Rich Eisen show and sitting there looking at his arms in his shirt. He might be the most jacked he's ever been.
Yeah.
Like truly, like he looks like he's in better shape. He's not drinking, like not like he used to anyway. Not when he was on the road and he was probably getting sauced all the time. He is taking care of himself. He's not working in the ring. All of that stuff. I think Stone Cold's probably in better shape than he's ever been in. So I hope he works a match with KO. I would love that. But I'm with you. I think even if KO and Austin get into a match, I still think there will be interference. I think if Seth doesn't get a lineup or doesn't get a match on Monday, that this would be the place where Seth gets in and interferes. Cody's from Texas. I feel like that would be a great place for Cody to show up and run interference. Get him immediately over as a babyface in your company. He's got a damn Texas neck tattoo. So like there's nobody more Texas on that roster than Cody Rhodes, committed to Texas anyway. Outside of our Hall of Famer. So I could easily see all the Texas showing up. The hell HBK might show up. Undertaker, Booker T, all of these guys. So yeah, I'm afraid that's what it's going to turn into, but I don't care, frankly, because we get to see Stone Cold in the ring. And that part I'm super excited about. I have a question for both of you, and then I'll pass it to Mike. Is this the thing that you are most looking forward to in all of WrestleMania? Both nights. It is for me. Tyler, what do you think?
For the purposes of promoting our 5 days of Stone Cold, yes, this is by far what I'm most looking forward to. You know, it's definitely up there. I'm really eager to see Bianca have her moment. Like Mike said, 2 years in a row, walking out of WrestleMania as champ, fingers crossed. That's really up there for me. If Cody is in fact going to debut, that's up there for me. We got Sasha, obviously. We know we're a big fan of her. This is for sure going to be it for me, though, Brad. I mean, it's historic. It's number.
We will
one.
know more tomorrow night, right? Like we'll know more tomorrow night whether or not it's going to be the Cody premiere, or if it'll be something else. But yeah, Mike, what are your thoughts on Stone Cold, and is this the biggest thing for you?
Well, between his return and Bianca Becky,
yeah,
those are the two things I'm looking forward to.
Me too.
Same. Which kind of sucks because they're both on the first night. Second night, I just want to see how they're going to tie the ends up with Brock and Roman. But yeah, as for what I believe might happen with Stone Cold and whether it's going to be like just the greats of Texas coming down and uniting against KO, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But at the same time, I believe that the amount of backlash they would receive if that happened, they were really cheated out of a confrontation, brawl situation. I believe we're going to get more than anybody really expects short of an actual match. I don't know how they're going to set it up, though. I can't see them starting as having like the interview segment and then that devolving into a brawl. I could see something happening, let's say at the beginning of the night, and it gradually pretty much they like thread it throughout the night, and it culminates with the segment. So KO is in the ring, he's ready. Stone Cold comes out, you hear the glass break, he makes the long walk, and when he hits that ring, all hell is breaking loose. And I think they'll give a good 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minute brawl. Kevin Owens to tuck his tail between his legs and go up, and that will be enough. But I wonder if they're going to follow up with it if it's just a one-off. From what I was reading, hearing from various places, I believe this is supposed to be the start of a year run. I can't see this being a one-off if they're gonna blow their load just on a KO show. I could just see them, following up. So yeah, so I guess that's the answer to both questions.
Where would you guys? Oh yeah, Brad, after you.
Okay, so I can see it's a great point. I could see it though, only based on Stone Cold's promo. One last time is what he said in his promo. I don't know that I believe him, but obviously he'll be back for 316 days to stun people if they have shows on a 316 or something. But here's why I asked the question. It wasn't because are you so looking forward to this? Your top two are my top two. Okay, Bianca, Becky, can't wait. After that is Stone Cold, or at the same time as Stone Cold. The thing that we are looking forward the most is a wrestler that hasn't been there in 18 years, that hasn't wrestled in 18 years. I think that the point here that I was trying to make is that a lot of this show is going to be great. But the thing people are most looking forward to is stuff that in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter and is dependent upon players from a long time ago. It's the way I think about Barry Sanders jerseys in Detroit that are brand new. It's like you've had nothing for so long that you have you got to dust this thing off and sell it. It's like, this is my new Brett Favre jersey. It's strange to me. That being said, I am looking forward to more on this. Night 2, I know we're going to get to night 2 here, has a rematch of one of my favorite matches of the year. And that's all matches of the year. I'm counting everything. And that's RK Bro, Street Profits, and Alpha Academy. That match, good God, that match was great. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, Tyler, but that match was awesome.
Yeah.
So that we're getting it again is great. But I cut you off. What was your question? I'm sorry.
No, I was just, before moving on to night 2 business, I was just going to ask you guys where you would place this Stone Cold KO segment on the show. Mike, it sounds like you were thinking maybe as a pseudo co-main event or the lead-in to the co-main event, because it's going to be a big moment.
Probably third from the top.
Yep,
I can see it third from the top.
Totally.
You don't want to end the night off with that, even though I could see them. I could see the mindset of putting them last, but you're gonna put a championship match last, and since you have Ronda Rousey on the card, you're gonna make her the main event.
Yeah,
right. But you don't want them right before, because
agreed.
The crowd is going to be dead. I mean, the crowd is going to be dead regardless, because I mean, like it's Ronda and Charlotte, but
that's going to be interesting to see how they react to it.
Well, Rock Hogan was third from the top.
Right.
Yeah, so I would say third from the top.
Okay. Yeah, great point.
Okay,
I agree.
Fair enough. Before we predict the officially scheduled matches for night 2, we alluded to this a few minutes ago. Seth Rollins needs something for WrestleMania. Ideally needs an opponent. Let's presume we get the often speculated return of Cody Rhodes here. Seth versus Cody. I'm assuming this would be a night 2 match. Guys, when I pass it over to you, let me know if you disagree. It seems like this would be something to look forward to highly promote for night 2 that we maybe desperately need. I want to know if it's Seth versus Cody. Is it a foregone conclusion that Cody wins? And let's say the next week, Cody on Raw. What does that look like for you guys? Do we run it back with Seth at WrestleMania Backlash? Is Cody an instant main event caliber talent? What do you guys do with Cody, the American Nightmare, being back with this company? I'm going to predict Cody beats Seth, and I think they run it back at WrestleMania Backlash. But after that, I think Cody is in the main event title picture. How about you, Brad?
I don't know. I think I don't if Seth is complaining openly on TV and all that stuff, and then there was the Vince McMahon text on social media of I want to see you in my office or whatever to talk to you about plans. I guess that either means we sign somebody, you're going to be wrestling Cody, or it's Bobby Lashley is back from his injury, or it's I would love to see that personally. I really didn't pay attention, but it could be Ricochet. it could be a whole bunch of different people. I feel like him giving him a monster to fight would be a great way to punish him on the night, and then that gets him involved with the KO stuff, and then maybe that's when you get the Cody debut. I could definitely see Cody going into the main event spot and then immediately being forgotten about again. I know Cody's going to go into WWE. He's going to be huge for a little while, and I think they're going to do the same thing they do with everybody. They're going to AJ Styles his ass so fast. He's going to get put in great spots. He'll be in the main event picture, but he'll never be more than an IC champ after he wins the Universal or WWE Championship. After that, it'll be drop the belt to somebody. It'll probably be Braun Breaker or something. Or maybe Bobby comes back, or maybe E comes back, or somebody much bigger than Cody Rhodes, physically larger. And then it'll be him in the IC or US title picture. That's me being very negative. I hope that I'm wrong, but Cody doesn't get to cut his own promos anymore. So I just feel like things are going to end up shifting there. I don't think he'll ever do Stardust again, but I can see them relying heavily on the Rhodes name and the Rhodes legacy, which could be potentially amazing. But Dusty lost a lot. He was over, but he lost a lot, and that's why he was over. He was like, I empathize with you. You're going to be champ, but then you're going to get beat up by the Four Horsemen. And I could see them absolutely going that route. He wins the championship and then loses, and then continues a feud and loses and loses and loses, and then wins, but it's not the main championship. So I have a very not great outlook on Cody Rhodes' tenure there, but I'm excited to see the first 4 or 5 months of Cody Rhodes. Can't wait. I think by SummerSlam he's champ.
I like the sound of that.
Probably before then, but yeah, I don't know who he beats though. I don't know which championship he's holding.
Sure. Mike, what say you?
Well, I like the setup that you laid out with Cody getting involved at the end of the Stone Cold segment, because Seth gets involved at the end of the Stone Cold he puts himself involved into the Stone Cold segment, and then they leap off that to set up a match for night 2. Now, as for where he ends up being placed after the WrestleMania/WrestleMania Backlash, I could see them running it back with Seth for Backlash. After that, I think it all depends on what happens to one of the titles, because
Right.
whoever wins is going to be a double champion. But from everything that I'm hearing, they're not really unifying. It's just pretty much the person going to have 2 belts, and one of those belts are either going to be relinquished or beat for. If Roman wins, he's not getting beat for one of those belts. I could see him relinquishing. What's this trash? The Raw title? Here, take this back over to Raw. Now, I actually had a thought while you was talking, but the pay-per-view is too far down the road. I was thinking once he relinquishes the title, they could have had that title up for Money in the Bank. But Money in the Bank is in July.
Yeah.
I can't see them waiting until July to have Raw rudderless, especially when you're a #1 championship now. Can't even make the WrestleMania card. The U.S. champion is not even on the card. So the only championship that's being defended at WrestleMania is the tag and the women's championship. So, but yeah, I'm sorry, I'm about to go off track. But yeah, for Cody, I think they're going to make a concerted effort not to mess up his push, because there's still a lot of contracts that are coming up in AEW.
Right.
And you're going to need fresh talent. You're going to want the people from AEW to say, you know what? It's safe to come on this side. Look what we did with Cody. I believe they're going to allow Cody to have a lot of agency with his character. He's not going to be able to say everything he wants to say, but I think he's going to have a lot more input than people really realize.
Yeah.
And at least for the first year,
like Seth,
I'll give a year. After next WrestleMania, if it goes downhill, it goes down the hill. But at least for the first year, just to make sure that, MJF is coming up in a year and a half or 2 years.
2024.
I know
right?
there's a lot Yeah, I know there's a lot of smoke with that, and I don't think he's jumping, but still, there's
Tony
other
will
people.
throw everything at him to keep him.
The Brinks truck, right?
But I would love to. But I would also love to see MJF in WWE if they let him do his own thing.
Tailor made.
I just don't know that they would let him do his own thing over there. They'd have to make him tone it down in public. That's for sure. Like getting up in front of that guy that was in a wheelchair going, at least I can do this, and standing up is not a thing that he'll be allowed to do if he's working for the Fed. But I think you make great points, man. Like I could see it. Like if it's a year out. Yeah. Time is so weird to me because it's like, it feels like forever, but it's only been 2 weeks. Because there's only one night a week. So it just feels longer than that to me, I guess. I don't know. I just don't want him to screw it up. Tyler and I trash on WWE a lot, but it's mostly because we both want it to be better. We just want it to be good. We want the booking to make sense for all the talent they have, because right now it's like, what an absolute problem to have this much talent on a roster.
Right.
But how did you screw up Bianca versus Sasha last year? The build to that,
right?
Like that match is great. We remember the match, but if you even think about the build to it, it's like, it's a no-brainer. You screwed it up.
Yeah. Two athletes who want to be the best. Both think they're the best. Now they need to prove it. That's all you need.
Brian Danielson versus Kenny Omega. I think I'm better than you. Well, you're not. Okay, let's fight. The end. It was a 2-second build.
There it is.
And everybody was invested.
There it is.
Guys,
it's not.
Before we hit the night 2 of the podcast, is what you're saying.
Guys, we got the card here. Let's make those official night 2 predictions. Queen Zelina and Carmella are defending their WWE Women's Tag Belts against the pairs of Sasha and Naomi, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and then finally Natalya and Shayna Baszler. I think we've mentioned most of these talents already in the episode, but it's time to formally predict who we think is walking out of Dallas with gold. This is tough. I think we're going to get new champs. I'm struggling between picking Sasha Banks and Naomi or Rhea and Liv. I'm going to go Sasha and Naomi. I think this match has a lot of potential. These women are all so unique in this match. I have really high hopes. Sasha and Naomi. Brad.
They can't put it on Natalya and Shayna.
No.
They just can't do that.
I don't think
if they do that, we will riot. They've been building this Zelina Carmella feuding with each other, this breakup. They've been building that. I don't think they retain, which leaves us only with Sasha and Naomi, who look great together and have been great together.
The money.
So absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I believe Sasha and Naomi are going to be new tag team champions. Mike, what do you think? Like we might have lost Mike. Things are frozen up.
I think he is frozen.
Yeah.
I thought he was just in deep thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully we'll get Mike. Mike back here soon.
We'll get his thoughts as soon as we can get him in there.
Yeah. Awesome. I guess we'll go ahead and continue. Maybe I'll send him a tweet here. Brad, the next match, Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Stipulation, anything goes. I'm going to borrow your line here, my friend. If Sami loses this match, we absolutely riot. And I think we're going to have to. I don't think he's winning. I think Johnny Knoxville, and through the interference of his jackass friends, gets the W here. I'm gonna hate everything about this, but I think I have to accept it.
Welcome back. Yeah.
There he is. Mike Steph.
I guess the too hot.
Mike, well, we need to get your prediction on the previous match, the women's tag belts here. Who are you rolling with? Brad picked Sasha and Naomi. I'm not sure if you were here for that.
I'm going to go with Sasha and Naomi just because I could also see Rhea and Liv winning.
Definitely.
Because I don't see where those two go individually. I can see both a pathway for Sasha if they actually keep her on TV more consistently, because it seems like every time she gets some type of traction, she disappears.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I'm not sure if it's something that maybe her schedule, she has outside projects, or it's the fact that, well, we don't have nothing for you right now, so we're gonna put you on the side.
And how do you have
So,
nothing for the legit boss? How is that even?
you
How's that
know,
a thing?
makes me wonder. Not to get so much into like the backstage stuff, but makes me wonder how much time she has left on her contract. Because a lot of times when you have particular players and you don't and they're not really situated in feuds and rivalries. Usually it's like, well, the contract is coming up and we really don't want to get them really involved in this or send anything around them. So we're just gonna have them, just be, in the Netherlands or whatever. So
Mhm.
I wonder, but yeah, I'm gonna go Sasha Naomi just because more on Naomi's part than Sasha's, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I know that she had said in an interview during the pandemic era that she doesn't think she'll be doing this for much longer anyway. And with a budding acting career, like look at her. Of course, she's going to be doing other stuff. So I think I'm kind of with you. I know she won't wrestle for anybody else. She'll always be a WWE lifer. I can't possibly see it, but she almost didn't renew her contract a few years ago, and she did. Because I think she was unhappy, but she didn't really have anything left to do. She's been tag team champion. She's been women's champ. So before I get my Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, even though I know we already talked about this and it's exactly what I'm going to say, Sami Zayn loses jackass interference. Lots of the jackass people show up and it's stupid and we move on. The likelihood, fellas, that we get Ding Dong Hello at some point.
I was just typing that in my notes, Brad. I kid you not. I typed 3 names which I want to ask you about at the end of this. Bailey is one.
Okay.
Continue. I'm so
I think we get it. I think we get it. Hopefully night 2, but
Okay.
night one would make more sense because it's a bigger night. I think more eyeballs will be on. I think they're gonna drop in numbers night 2. I don't think Roman and Brock are the draw they think they are. People are gonna show up for Stone Cold Steve Austin on WWE Cock. I know it's gonna happen. So we're gonna get that. So yeah, hopefully Ding Dong Hello, we get Bailey, Johnny Knoxville and his ilk.
Bailey. Sorry, could you see Bailey attacking Ronda as a close for night 1?
I hope so. I don't know if it builds for a
euphoric.
match. I would just enjoy her attacking Ronda.
Okay.
I don't care if it builds to a match. Just hitting her and like it's not even it's not even a work. It's just she's just shooting on Ronda with a chair or something.
Right.
That'd be great.
Okay. Sign me up for that.
But does she come back to SmackDown or does she come back to Raw?
Right.
Hopefully to SmackDown.
Because she's a free agent.
SmackDown needs her more because SmackDown sucks right now. Outside of Roman, that show is bad. Raw's been pretty good. All things considering, there's been some like turd spots and they pipe in too much noise. That KO segment was golden and they didn't have to pipe in noise for it, but they did it anyway. It was just like getting punched in the face with booze. Nobody sounds like that. Make it less obvious if you're going to do it. Damn it, Vince.
Brad, I'm sorry I cut you off though. You were
who cares? Johnny Knoxville. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Mike,
Brad and I agree. Johnny Knoxville wins, and we're going to be
Johnny Knoxville.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right,
fair enough.
This
great lead in. This next one, I actually think is by far going to be the best match featuring a quote unquote celebrity or non wrestler, if you will, on this card. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. I'm kind of stuck on this one, guys. I could absolutely see Austin Theory winning this and maybe even a Vince McMahon appearance. And I think, frankly, Austin Theory needs a really seminal big victory. But I'm going to go Pat McAfee winning here. If his match with Adam Cole in NXT is any indication, Pat McAfee can really go. Yeah. He can do some awesome things in the ring. This is one of the toughest matches for me to predict on the card. I am going to go Pat McAfee, though, and I think this is going to be much better than a lot of us are predicting.
Oh, I'm predicting it to be very good. Pat takes his stuff seriously. He's got a ring. He's got a trainer. I think, I think this match is going to rule. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. High spot city for Pat, and it'll be, it'll be good. I'm going to pick McAfee. I think they give the fans at WrestleMania the babyface win here, and Theory needs it more, but not if he looks great. Because that'll build his storyline of Vince being you're a disappointment. You couldn't even beat a commentator. Like, yeah, I can absolutely see that happening. And then maybe he reprimands him. Maybe he makes him polish his egg or something. We'll see. Mike, I don't know if you're with us still, but what do you think?
I thought he was deep in thought again. No,
definitely not.
Mike, definitely not. He'll come back if the last time's any indication. Yeah. Brad, we'll continue rolling on and we'll get Mike back shortly. You mentioned this one earlier. This, for me, has the absolute 100% most potential to steal the show on night 2, the triple threat tag match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. RK Bro defending against the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. I am so excited for this one, Brad. We are going to need the popcorn. Predicting a winner is tough for me. You know, I'm very partial to the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy, quite frankly. I think RK Bro retains.
I'm going to go a different direction. I think they're giving like, we're friends, but we're going to beat you, heel-ish Street Profits, or we're just over your crap Street Profits. I'm going to go Street Profits on this one.
Wow, I'm not mad at that.
But I would not be surprised if RK Bro retains. I don't think Alpha Academy has a shot here, but we're going to get some really great stuff. Maybe a Vader bomb, probably that Gable moonsault. That first match, the RK Bro off the moonsault was one of my favorite spots. That might be one of my favorite RKOs ever. It's top 3 or 4, I think, for me. So
you think we're gonna get an even more crazy one?
I think we will. Oh, no worries.
I have to tell people, I need y'all to cut the Wi-Fi's off.
Mike, you arrived just in time. So we first want to hear your prediction for Mcafee versus Theory, and then we'll roll into the Raw tag match.
Okay, Mcafee versus Theory. Actually, I was discussing this earlier with my son. I had a theory in mind. Being the fact that you have Finn Balor and Damian Priest not on WrestleMania. And the last time they had the match, Austin Theory cost Finn Balor the victory in that non-title match. So it would lead you to believe that Finn Balor needs to get his revenge. He comes to the ring somehow, some way. Let's say Damian Priest,
Makes sense.
comes in, he's assisting Theory. Finn Balor comes down, he assists, or at least he gets Damian Priest out the way, and that leads to Mcafee being victorious. I can't see Pat McAfee winning cleanly, because in reality, that's devaluing the wrestler. He's an announcer.
Right.
And if they have any type of plans for Theory, if he's going to take the loss, he's not going to take a clean loss, or he shouldn't take a clean loss. That's my prediction for that.
Yeah,
Pat McAfee.
Maybe he gets tripped and Pat does take him out, but he punts his face. Like Pat getting the punt in, he did it to Adam Cole and knocked him out cold in NXT. So I can absolutely see that's a great point about Finn. Do you think we get Demon Finn, and do you think he comes out in a box-like structure? I just wanted to reference Michael Cole's great description of what was clearly a Jack in the Box. The hell are you doing?
Can you guys believe that was a year ago?
I know.
That Orton versus Fiend match. I think the last time we saw Bray in a WWE ring, in fact.
And the first time we saw the black stuff coming out of Alexa Bliss's head. Yeah.
That seems so long ago. It seems like 3 years ago.
It seems like forever ago. Yeah.
So for the next one, Mike, I'm predicting this match is going to rule, this triple threat. We saw it on Raw not too long ago. RK Bro versus Alpha Academy versus Street Profits. High hopes. I'm predicting an RK Bro retain here. Brad is actually picking a Street Profits victory, which I would not be mad at. What are your thoughts?
I could see RK Bro retaining. I can see them getting the pin, unfortunately, on Alpha Academy to lead to a legitimate one-on-one program between them and the Street Profits. Street Profits have been leaning on the healer side. I think is going to go full throttle either at WrestleMania or the Raw following WrestleMania. I don't know if that's the right move, but I guess they feel like they need an edge. They need something different.
Right.
So I'm going to go with RK Bro retaining, and they go forward with the Street Profits, and hopefully they could find something for Alpha Academy and not split them up because they're so entertaining. They are very entertaining.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a great impression. The fact that Chad Gable is getting to wrestle this weekend makes my heart so happy. You talk about a long overdue recognition. Man, this is just years in the making for him. I can't wait.
We're going to get a program with him at some point with Chad Gable and Gable Stevenson, the Gables. Either tagging together or shoot wrestling will be how they build it, even though that's not what'll happen. It'll be, I'm so super excited for that. Here's why I picked the Street Profits, not just because of the heelish part. RK Bro beat Alpha Academy beat RK Bro. Street Profits haven't won in this 3-way feud yet, and then we need a blow off, and maybe we do that. I feel like they're doing it a little bit like the Hardys and the Dudley's, Edge and Christian, where we'll just keep doing that triple threat because it's magic and because they hate each other and because they all want to beat each other. But I kind of like what you're saying there with the legit just a tag team match, a 2-on-2 tag team match. I really like that.
Yeah, a WrestleMania Backlash match, perhaps. Yes. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
Final 2 matches on the card. Guys, a lot of people would consider this next one a dream match. Edge, super heel Edge, versus the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Okay. I think AJ wins this match. I think it's going to be the classic 20 to 25 minute banger on the card. I think this is going long. I really think AJ needs this victory.
I'm with you totally. Also, I hate this version of Edge. It's not because he's a bad guy. It just sucks. Why would you just 180 him out of nowhere, put him in a suit and call it like Brood stuff? No, it's not what he's doing at all. What is he, like corporate Edge? I don't understand what's happening. And people were making the comp between when he debuted because he was in the blue light. It's like, you're telling me that's the same thing? If he came out in a trench coat again, okay, I can understand. The trench coat and the glasses, the oval Oakleys from the 90s. That's I can absolutely see that, but this Edge sucks. I want it done. It's bad. The promos don't look good. This is not a good thing for Edge. I hope they change him back, because if he legitimately is at the end of his career here, I don't know how many more years he's going to go. Hopefully for a few more, so that we can switch him back to what he was. Why would you take one of the most over guys in the company and turn him heel for no good goddamn reason? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But that being said, it's Edge versus AJ, and it's probably going to be an incredible wrestling match. So I'm excited for the actual match. It's going to rule. It's just this version of Edge is stupid, and I hope AJ wins. Big and AJ. Mike?
I think this match would be much better if the roles were reversed. If Edge was the baby face and AJ was the smart ass heel. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to agree with you with the 180 change. The placement of the heel turn has me befuddled. It would be one thing if Edge, after his long-running rivalry, blood feud with Seth Rollins, after he gets out of that, you know what? I've been too soft. I've just dealt with Seth. I just got punked out by Roman. I got punked out by Roman and Daniel Bryan. I could see the progression. Yeah. But for it to come on the heels from whatever feud that was with him and his wife with Miz and Maurice, to do the change right after that just makes no sense. But the match itself, 25 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, they're going to give Edge the time. Because remember, 2 years ago with no fans, they did 45 minutes backstage.
Yeah.
And then they followed it up. Yeah, and then they followed it up with like the 40-minute classic.
Yeah. The greatest wrestling match ever.
Oh yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, that was the greatest. That no matter. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was one of the. That was a great match.
It was.
It's blasphemy for me to even say, yeah, one of the greatest matches. But no, it was a great match.
It was a great match.
But
Yeah.
yeah. But AJ, I'll go with AJ for the win. Same thing with AJ. I don't really understand how he became the babyface because pretty much he was talking talking crap to Omos and almost stood up for himself. Brushed told AJ, "I don't need you anymore," and AJ is the face. And even
Yeah.
from that
Mhm.
point, they really have had no direction for AJ. So AJ needs to win. And like I said, it's going to be a great match, but it would be so much better if the roles were reversed.
Mhm.
Totally agree with you, man. Totally.
Well,
agree.
and Mike, before we head to the main event, I also you mentioned sort of the misuse of AJ. I would argue too that Omos has been completely misused. I don't know if there's been a bigger fumbling of a bag in WWE in recent memory with a character, a new character, than with this guy. If you both remember a year ago, last year's WrestleMania, Omos was one of the main talking points from the night, was he not? Him and AJ defeated the New Day, or at least Kofi
Yeah.
and Xavier, to become tag champs, and all of us were just applauding the use of Omos in the match. He was not by any means a 5-star worker at that point, but it was the debut of him in the ring. He was over with the fans. He was a main talking point. And I think if you fast forward a year from now, I know Fightful is reporting that the plan is he may fight Bobby Lashley during night 1 or night 2. But I just wonder, how do you fumble the bag this badly with that guy? It's really interesting to me. I'm just curious if you guys have any thoughts on Omos from last year to this year before we talk about the main event.
Yeah, I didn't care then. I don't care now. Mike, your thoughts?
Almost to me, part of me wants to believe that he might not have been ready for the position that they had ready for him.
Not at all.
And once they realized, when they start accelerating it, they accelerated the breakup. And once they realized, okay, AJ can't even carry him, we need to slow down. I think it should have been, to me, that means they brought him up too much. They brought him up too early, or they put him in that spotlight too early because he was the next big guy. Coincidentally, not there's no tears being shed, but coincidentally, once they start, pinpointing the spotlight almost, Braun Strowman, bye-bye. Because all right, we already got your replacement. He's fresher, he's bigger, he's newer. You're breaking down. We kind of fumbled the bag with you too. So I think he got caught up in the numbers game, and actually I don't believe that it was kind of fair to him to be put in that position, and then, oh, you're not ready. Of course he's not ready. He's only been doing this for a year.
Right.
So
Right.
I
We
mean,
didn't
if
see him
they
in
can
NXT at all, right?
exactly, if they can
Yeah.
continue to hide his weaknesses and slowly build him, once again, he shouldn't be on TV every week. He should be a special attraction because once he gets to the pinnacle, all right, you done built him up. Who's going to beat him? And after a while, people's going to get tired of just seeing almost with the tree slam or whatever. He says a little couple words, and that's it. So, they messed up, but at the same time, he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said.
He was great. He was great for Raw Underground as the bouncer.
Raw Underground seems like a figment of my imagination.
Yes,
Did it really happen, or did I just dream?
No,
Shane McMahon was
and they
running
had
Underground.
Baba Kato.
Yes.
Kato.
Before he became a Nigerian commander or some sort, whatever.
The Nigerian drum match was a thing that took place last year.
God.
No one still knows what a Nigerian drum
No.
match
Well, it's never like that. I hate that. Man, make them make sense. I'm still fuming, even though it was a different company, over the Minneapolis street fight. Like, get that out of what? Come on now.
Not needed.
Anyway,
guys, I think it's time to discuss the main event. We finally made it here. Let's get right into it. Title unification match. Winner takes all here. The WWE champion versus the Universal champion. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman in his corner. I'm worried about this.
Me too.
I'm really worried Brock wins. And again, as Brad and I have discussed at length, Mike, on the show, not that Brock is not a Hall of Fame talent or great in his own right, but the person who ultimately beats Roman has to be made by that victory. Mike, I know you agree. We've shared messages about this. Brock has been made for years and years. I'm excited for your promo, Mike, when we pass it off to you. I'm going to go with my heart and pick Roman Reigns to win. Guys, I'm also really hopeful that we get some surprise at the end of WrestleMania. I think it needs it. I think just a Roman victory, whether clean or dirty, I don't know that that's going to be enough to finish this big WrestleMania weekend. So I also want to hear from you guys. Do we get any surprise appearances? This may be me totally fantasy booking. I'm thinking of names such as Bray Wyatt, such as that guy, Dwayne Johnson.
Heard of him.
Do people control their narrative here? What do we think happens? I'm going to go. I hope not. I'm going to go a Roman victory. And I think we need a surprise. I would love to see The Rock, but I don't think we're going to get a surprise, unfortunately. Roman wins. We go off the air with him holding both titles, and that's it. Brad, how about you?
I have nothing to add to that. That's exactly my take. The only thing I'll say is that why are we calling this a unification match if we know it's not? The only thing I can think is that maybe it will be, but it's a way for them to in the WWE universe, which doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of the time, rebrand and recreate the title to make a new title belt. And that way we get a new title belt, a new look to it, or an old look to it. One of those things so they can market and sell more toys. That's the only thing that I could possibly think is a merch rebranding. Mike.
I am going with the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, to not only retain the undisputed championship, but to recapture the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and then on Friday night on SmackDown, relinquish the belt and send that trash back to the Red brand. That's my prediction. But my thoughts, yeah, sure. Donnie just came out. But my thoughts.
Yes, he did.
Shoot, yeah,
Donnie,
I'm under control a lot. Yeah, but my thoughts, like y'all said, and like we've discussed in the past, Brock has been made over and over and over and over again. As recently as last night, because I used to watch the Peacock to go to sleep. You know, I put on some wrestling or whatever, something that I've watched before. And you know, if I fall asleep, I'm not missing anything. But last night I was like, darn, you know, shoot. Usually I'll start watching WrestleMania leading up to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
It's a week. All right, let me start. So I think I started at 16, and I was watching some of that. And then they had on the YouTube channel, they had best Brock WrestleMania matches, and they had the Undertaker match. Mm-hmm. They had the Goldberg match, mm-hmm. and there's one in the middle.
Was it maybe this may not work with your timeline, but I'm thinking of that Seth, John Cena, Brock triple threat at the Rumble from years ago.
No, it was strictly WrestleMania match.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was WrestleMania.
Neither here there.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, I'm going to take up too much time. I remember, but regardless, it just reminded me. I'm like, he's won the Royal Rumble twice. He's won Money in the Bank. He's won the Universal Championship how many times? Mm-hmm. He ended the Undertaker streak. What else? Oh yeah, it was Brock and Kurt Angle from yes. WrestleMania 19.
Yes, got it. The Shooting Star Press, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm watching this. I'm like, all right, for pretty much on and off for the last 20 years, they've given him every accolade possible.
Right.
Me personally, while it might be entertaining to most, I really cannot get into super babyface tough ass Brock. I just can't. Because remember, WWE has actually ingrained their audience as short as 3 years ago that Brock don't care nothing about this company, doesn't care nothing about you. He doesn't even care enough to show up to cut a promo against Roman Reigns leading into SummerSlam. So now we're supposed to do a whole 360 and supposed to be rah for Brock. Roman is the one here. Roman is who he is.
Thank you.
He's the head of the table.
Yes, we need to acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Yes, we acknowledge him. We must acknowledge him. So why oh, yeah, yeah. But
Dude,
yeah,
you're right though. It has been a total 180 of Brock being the classic quote unquote evil part-timer of he doesn't care to be here, he's just in it for the money, he's a prize fighter. And now, like you said, Mike, he's supposed to be the biggest baby face in the company.
And I will refuse to get over. And I feel bad for even not even bringing him up the whole review. I refuse to get over the timeline of Big E since day one changed dramatically because they needed to make good with Brock Lesnar when Roman caught COVID.
That's right.
Who knows what might have happened? I'm not going to try to play revisionist history here and there, but
it's an important question.
That Big E should have been going into WrestleMania to defend his championship, and he couldn't even get to the Royal Rumble based on you had to let Brock be inserted in the match and walk away with the championship, and didn't even give Big E a rematch. Kofi Part 2.
Preach.
So I mean, F it, I'm going to go with it. Every championship, every African American champion we've had in WWE has been defeated by Brock Lesnar. We go back to the Rock. Okay, yeah, whatever. We go to the Rock. We go to Big E. We go to Kofi. Like, even if you have
Bobby Lashley,
if you're not 100%, guess what? Brock is coming after you. I just don't know. So with all this being in his history, and like I said, just the Big E aspect of Big E got royally screwed to accommodate Brock Lesnar's storyline. Yeah, I can't get into it. It as phenomenal as stupendous as it's supposed to be, I cannot get into it fully because I can't take or see Brock Lesnar in the position that they're putting him in. I just can't.
Man, I'm trying to remember all of his championships to see if he's taking out like just minorities. See if that's like a Vince thing.
I don't know if I want to know the answer to that.
I'm really thinking about that. Yeah, I don't know if I want to either because I want to be okay with it, but it's
I don't know if you want to look at the receipts, Brad.
There's
some scary receipts.
I mean, look, which guy? Look, John Cena was a rapper. He beat him.
Yes, he did. We have not forgotten that SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle had a thing for this upcoming Hall of Fame inductee.
Yeah.
He beat him. Kurt Angle had a thing for Sharmell, remember? He beat him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mike's got the receipts, Brad.
Yes, I got receipts a mile long.
Mike, I think you're so spot on as Brad looks that up. Brad, you and I again have hashed this out so many times. For us, what's been so frustrating is exactly what you said. It's not that Brock is not a great talent and the Suplex City, right? People pop for it. We get he's a draw, but it's how the history of him being propelled has put other people down. And the very curious case of over the last 5 or so years, it's been Big E, it's been Kofi. And like you said, there's never been a rematch. If Brock walks out of night 2 as the champion, I just think that's going to be such an indictment on the lack of creative and the lack of building new stars that has just plagued WWE for the last decade. I hope it doesn't happen. But I also struggle with seeing a world where Brock loses and then does he just disappear till next year? He's gone? Maybe, but he's their money attraction. Is it just going to be I worry that's just going to be interference, a classic Roman match, interference, which leads to a Roman victory, and then just give me a clean Roman win here and I will be happy. I will sleep well.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. It doesn't matter, I guess. I'm not going to spend that much time on it. I saw the Kofi thing come up again, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to know. I just
10 seconds he beat Kofi. And Kofi never
with one F5.
One F5.
Remember that whole summer it was taking 3 F5s.
Yes.
Kofi one.
Yes.
One.
And Mike, do you remember, Brad and I talked about this recently, do you remember who was immediately pole vaulted into being Brock's next challenger?
Cain Velasquez.
Thank you. What?
Cain Velasquez, who
then
lasted
gone
one
a year
match
later.
for Saudi Arabia, and that was it.
Gone. 6 months later, gone.
Not even 6 months. Shoot, it was by the end of that month because they had the
Kofi-
Super Showdown.
No, I'm hearing it'll definitely be more than 6 months for Cain Velasquez.
Oh, well, that. Yeah.
Too soon. Sorry.
You're too soon.
Okay.
Guys, I think I've gotten all of my words and predictions out there. Anything else you guys want to add about this big weekend ahead of us? Anything we missed?
I don't think I have anything to add other than like generally, although I don't care at all about this NXT 2.0 stuff, I will probably end up watching it because it exists and it's there. And I will, and I can't wait for WrestleMania. Like there's stuff on there we know is going to be stuff that's on there. Primarily night 2 feels like a little bit like that. Although there's some really great matches that I know are going to be on night 2. There's at least 3 on there that I can't wait for. And a couple that I'm like, whatever. But we talk about this all the time. WrestleMania, WWE are about moments, and we're going to get some great ones. So I'm really excited about the moments that we get. Even though I am worried that one of the most recent moments that we got was Becky squashing Bianca. So I'm really hoping that we don't get that unless Bianca kills Becky really quickly, which I don't think is going to happen. I think it's going to be a banger. So no, I don't think we missed anything on at least that I could see. Just really excited about it and just glad that we got to talk about it. Mike?
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything. Yeah, I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. I'm looking forward to just the event itself, not so much, the pageantry, the run up. Like I was even thinking, I'm like, darn, I'm excited about next weekend because it's WrestleMania weekend, but I'm not excited for the actual WrestleMania, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know.
Sure. I think a lot of us feel that way.
Felt about the Super Bowl this year, like not really up for Rams Bengals, but I was excited because it was the Super Bowl. It's I'm excited because it's WrestleMania, but I'm not necessarily like, I'll take that back. There's one thing on there I'm excited for more than anything else. There's the match I want to see, but there's just seeing Stone Cold doing something at a WrestleMania has me just hooked. Can't wait.
Yeah. And even with as all the problems we have with current WWE for several reasons, there still is nothing, to me, there's nothing like that WrestleMania heading into that weekend. There's still a lot of luster behind the name. And I know all 3 of us will be tuning in and watching every moment. So I'm super stoked for it. Mike, before we get out of here, please plug away. Where can the people find you?
Okay, well, on the social medias, you can check me out on Twitter at Mike Steffens _. Or if you just look for wherever they put the little nickname, Mike Steph is right on the screen. Same thing on Instagram, Mike Steph or at Mike Steph. And most importantly, you can check me out on most streaming platforms with the Salty Thoughts of Donnie Oooh podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor FM, amongst others. So yeah, come and check me out. I'm letting you know it's PSA. It's pretty much, it's kind of raunchy, but you do get some info here and there between listening to my crazy, what. So yeah.
Love that, Mike. Well, hey, Mike, we are so grateful for you coming on, man. This one was a blast, and we encourage everyone to follow Mike, support his work. He is not only a great mind, but a really great friend of GI and just a really spectacular dude overall. Brad, do you want to get our GI plugs before we head out?
Sure. You can check us out. We are at GIPod19 on Twitter. I am at Winduster and Tyler J. McDowell on Twitter. You can go to gimmickinfringementpod.com, check out the pod there, get the link to the YouTube playlist, check out our writing. More is on the way. We have a couple of pieces from ourselves and a guest piece coming up here. I don't know when that will be, but check out the website, subscribe for updates, and follow us, share us, let people know that you like us. If you've made it this far, you definitely do. You are committed as we hit $150 on our WrestleMania preview show.
Thank you all so much for listening and supporting GI. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did, and we will see you on the next one. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.